Hey guys, it's Phil from Aussie Garage. Now I'm back here with Anthony. Now Anthony is building this C10 at the moment, which is going to be a beautiful car. So Anthony, tell us what you're doing with this actual C10 at the moment.
Okay, I picked up at a reasonably good price here in Australia. Rolling body, no motor, no gearbox, no interior, no nothing, which I didn't care about because trying to get one like this in from America is 30 odd grand. So I picked this up at a reasonable price in Australia. Had quite a bit of rust. Small matter. It was a long bed.
Okay.
I got rid of the tray. It's been shortened in the chassis now, 12 inches in the front underneath the cab and 8 or so off the back. I think in total you take about 20 inches off the back of these things by the time you finish with it. So I'm going to talk Imperial because everything in this car is Imperial. I have C-notched the rear chassis, bolted plates on and welded, seam welded it all completely around as I want. I replaced the rear shocky tower. I've replaced the lower rear trailing arm mounts because when you drop this low you've got to flip the mounts the opposite way, so I've just put a brand new one in there. I've cut off all any bits of chassis I don't need, plated it back over. At the moment I'm just finishing off converting it to right-hand drive, was left. The rust I had in it so far, I've replaced the whole floor, the firewall, the cowl, the A pillars, the B pillars, the rockers, the cab outers on the outside backs, and guards and radiator support panel. Yes, it costs a bit, but like I say, what I spend in time putting new panels and cutting the rust, I'm still under the price of buying one this rusty out of America and then still have to cut the rust as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's potato. It's expensive for freight, but you get it done in the long run and it's a lot easier. Now, I've also moved the bonnet hinges. So they're now up in my cowl because when I get my new panels for the inside, I'm going custom trim inside panels.
Perfect.
I don't want the hinges there. Plus the new ones at the top run off gas support struts instead of the big ugly springs on the side. I've converted the wipers to right-hand drive. I'm just waiting on a new cowl from America so I can cut it into pieces because I need 2 to make 1 to suit the right-hand drive. Technically I didn't have to, but they still frown upon the wipers not doing the proper sweep across the face, so I have to do it.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of rust in the roof and bits which I'm just cutting away as normal. I found that the gaps in this thing are a joke, even from factory. I've heard from a lot of people that have been to America and they know these cars that they never gapped them from factory. They were never thinking it was a truck, they threw them together. If it drove and went stopped, that was a bonus for them.
Yeah, perfect.
So I've got a phenomenal amount of work to do on gapping and getting it actually looking straight. Even down to the part where these brand new guards don't even go dead straight anymore. They fade away into crookedness.
Yeah, they kind of twist out a bit, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And the other side is absolute phenomenal. If you run your eyes down the guard, it's just a joke. And you can see from here, brand new guard, big gap at the top, and overlapping the metal at the bottom.
Yep.
You know, and my door, I've put a dead straight edge on there, and this is absolutely dead flat because that's the original door. So aftermarket, a lot of work.
Yep.
Just at the moment, just got ordered my suspension. I've got a classic performance tubular suspension, control arms, trailing arms, Viking coilovers, everything to replace it to make it look nice. As usual, I'm going the LS1 with the foil 60E. Will be cam, different manifold. I'll show the manifold in a later date.
Yep.
That's going to make this one look trick. I've got a brand new steering column already for it, 35 inch. I've got collapsible steering shaft for it, all the joints and all that. Just literally waiting to put it all together. until I get my rust cut and all that and sparks flying everywhere, I don't really want to put anything brand new on it.
Yeah, fair enough, because otherwise you don't want to damage it and everything else.
No. The seats, I took out the old original bench seat. That purely was a metal frame. There was nothing to it when I got it. And I've got Commodore VS Ute seat, which is a bench bucket. So it's a bucket seat on the driver's side. It's a bucket style seat on the centre, but it's got a dicky seat in the middle.
Yep, fair enough.
So by the time I put them in, I've got to widen that probably about another 5 inches to take up the slack and all the rest of the stuff. It will fit someone on there quite nicely. When we tailor it all up, we're going to make it look all old and square. So it looks like a bench seat the whole way along, all the same height, everything the same. So it looks like an old original seat, but at least then I can adjust my side back and forth and all that and not have to worry about moving the passenger and all the rest of the stuff. I do have to convert the handbrake as well, because this was an old foot style handbrake under the dash. I'll probably be just putting an E-stop in it this time. It's a lazy way out of it. Alright, it's not the most perfect I wanted to do, but I can't put the original floor style one back in it again under the dash, because if I put a person in the middle seat, they'd be tripping over the handbrake and might activate it while driving.
Yep.
Yay. The dash has gone through major modifications apart from shifting from one side to the other, which is pretty easy on the 67 to 72 things, because they are identical dash metal and they're metal. I can cut them and weld them. I've also added another 35mm of steel at the bottom of the housings to push the dash up, because a lot of people complained that the gauges are dead flat. When you're sitting up high, you cannot read the bottom gauges. So I've tilted it towards me a little bit more, and I've also dropped my seat down quite a bit as well, so they're looking a lot neater. The floor accelerator, I went to a floor accelerator, so it goes in underneath. Once again, with the inside panels, they're going to be tucked away and out of sight. Yep. So at the moment, it's just a lot of rust cutting and redesigning.
Yeah, fair enough. So, I mean, this is something you've wanted to do for a while. So why a C10?
I've always loved the American pickup truck.
Okay.
I wish we had stuff like this over here, or you can put 3 mates in this and it's still big and large, but it's got a big presence. It's just a bigger ute.
Okay, not a drama.
That's what I sort of wanted to do. It's just a bigger ute. I mean, you can still, 3-seater Commodore ute or something like that, or like 3-seater in me panel van, but you're squashed up against each other. You can stretch out this. I mean, what did Mitsubishi say back in the days? Not so squeezy.
Yeah, that's it.
So I just love the American C10.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. And now, what kind of style are you going to end up finishing up? Is this going to be like a Pro Tourer style, or is it going to be similar to that with the suspension, but not to that level?
Yeah, the suspension level and drivetrain way will be Pro Tourer, but the outside, I'm going to actually return it and paint it to original. Okay. Blue and white. With all the chrome trim and all the bits and pieces, give it a nice clean look, because they did look beautiful from factory, but I just want to give it that little bonus extra with the guts underneath, because I still want to be able to drive in that, and I still want some horsepower to have some fun in and all the rest of the stuff. But there's so many designs to look at, but yeah, I think the original blue and white looks lovely, but the blue, not a faded yellow, light colour blue like they use. I'm going to use a light metallic just to give it that little zing in the paint. Yeah, nice. Because otherwise it just looks plain and disgusting as a current model Ford is at the moment, and it's horrible. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot to do. I also picked up a factory big block bonnet. So it's got the 2-inch reverse cat on it from factory. So gives me that little extra room. Once again, like I said, I'm going to need it for my manifold. Yeah, definitely. Which you'll see later on down the track. Yeah, now this is going to be absolutely beautiful, but do you have any kind of time frames you're doing it, or just when you can and how you can? basically that, when I can and how I can, you know, in between working and business and still playing on the panel van and going out and having a life.
Yeah, definitely.
When the wife lets me. Yeah, you just got to do what you got to do.
Well, that's it. I mean, I know you're doing a lot of work for other people and stuff like that through AJ's Mods and things like that, and we do a lot of work together as well, like as usual. But this thing is something that we've been following from the start, and we really want to follow it all the way through and see how it ends up. But I think this is going to be absolutely brilliant. What you've done so far already, compared to when we first saw it, is just absolutely astounding.
Thank you.
Yeah. We look forward to following the project, and thank you very much for your time, mate.
No worries. Thanks.
Appreciate it, mate.
See you, mate.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching this week's episode, everyone. And also, don't forget to check out the website. We've got some awesome merch on there. Maybe even grab something for yourself or someone else.
And we appreciate you guys supporting us.